Hey everyone, Bo Watson with School of Lifetime Low Rounds, and today we're going to talk about how to start the downswing correctly. So if that's of interest to you, definitely stick around, and we're going to talk about how to get your downswing to start the right way. So one of the biggest things I see with a lot of golfers that start the downswing incorrectly is that they're trying to rush the downswing. And what I mean by that is when you look at the golf swing, and as I swing this club around my body, right, you would agree that as I swing this around my body, it's making an arc, okay? So as the club head is traveling around, it's making an arc because it's set at an angle plane, okay? So because the club is designed at an angle plane, it's also going to be swung around this tilted circle. Now, one of the biggest things that I see that a lot of golfers get in trouble with is when they start the downswing, what I mean by rushing is that they are first to throw out the club. So if we look at the circle itself, okay, and if you ever pay attention to some of the best golfers in the game, one of the things that they do a really good job of is when they start the downswing, they're narrowing the arc, okay, or what we would call narrowing the arc of attack coming down into the ball. All right, so with the iron, it's going to be hitting down, with the driver, going to be hitting slightly down, sometimes it can be in line, sometimes it's up, okay? But the biggest thing that you have to understand when we're talking about irons and with the driver is that whenever the club travels back, as you see here, the club head traveling back and going along that arc, the first move for a lot of players, okay, is generating what, you probably heard on TV, they talk about lag, right? And they're generating these angles, okay? Now the secret in order for you to be able to do that is you've got to understand how to start that, all right? So the one thing that you have to understand when you look at these players that create this narrowing of the arc, it's not that you're trying to do it by just dropping the hands, okay? That's not how you create true lag, all right? When you look at all the best players in the game, one of the things that they're doing as they go back and as they start the downswing, it's a first move down into the ground, okay? So we're increasing the pressure down into the ground, all right? If you look at Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, some of the greats, right? And then today's players, Justin Rose, Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, all these guys, if you look at a face-on view, it's that move right there. And the first move from the top of the swing is increasing the pressure into the ground, the left side's opening up, hip externally rotating, right? And then we're getting down into a squat position, right? So one of the best drills I have found to get you to do that is a drill that I picked up from a guy out on the West Coast. I hope I get his last name right, but it's Greg McHatton. And I absolutely love this drill because it's a drill that will expose when you start it prematurely versus starting it right. And so what you want to do is take the club to the top of the backswing, and then what you're going to do is you're going to generate that little move right there, but at the same time as you drop from the top of the backswing down to where we call like left arm parallel to the ground is where you're going to release this, and the objective is try to get the butt end of the club to hit the ground, okay? Here's what I mean. So as I did that, I transitioned weight down into the ground, I release it where the left arm's parallel, and you notice how the butt end of the club hit the ground, okay? So that would be the proper release. Now, here's when you know when you do not do it correctly, is when you go to the top of the backswing, and then the first move you make is throwing it out, okay? So what that is doing to your arc is now you're making it wider, right? So you do not want to be in a hurry to throw the arms out, because when you do that, what that's going to do is going to put you in a position where you're coming down and you're releasing, and then that opens up a case of worms down here at impact position. And that's where you hit the fat shots, the top shots, the thin shots, and every other shot, right? So if you want to make this more consistent, the objective is go to the top of the backswing, start the downswing, get that little bump, get the feet going, pressure into the ground, okay? And then release that butt end of the club and hit the ground. And I'm going to warn you, it's going to take a lot of practice, because if for the longest time, if you've been doing this and just throwing it out, it's going to expose it very quickly, okay? So that's a great drill that'll help you guys get the start of the downswing in the right manner, and then from there you want to make sure that you're sustaining all those angles into impact. And I did a video on how to release the club correctly. I'll make sure I'll link that video down below. Check out that video for the next step on how to make sure you get it all the way through impact. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe below and hit that bell button. That'll keep you up to date on all the free content that we're adding to the channel. And if you would like to drop 4 shots in the next 1 week, make sure you check out the link I posted below this video. This is the #1 course that is now helping every golfer that has completed the course drop an average of 6.8 shots off their game in 1 week's time. So if that's of interest to you, check out that link below. That'll take you to the course. And other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below.